Are you struggling to find a specific value across multiple columns in a large table? It can be quite a challenge, especially when dealing with a table that has 30 columns and 1,000 rows. But don't worry, you're in the right place. Today we're going to tackle how to write a single link query that checks for a value in all columns. I completely understand how overwhelming it can be to sift through so much data. You might feel like you're searching for a needle in a haystack. Many developers face this issue when trying to query large data sets, and you're definitely not alone in this. Let's dive into the specific question at hand. One user recently asked, how can I check for a particular value in all columns of a table using a single link query? They provided an example of their query, which looks something like this: table.where all column value.contains search value.toList. Sound familiar? Let's explore how to achieve this. So what exactly is the challenge here? When you have a table with many columns, checking each one individually can be tedious and inefficient. The goal is to create a link query that dynamically checks all columns for the specified value, which can save you a lot of time and effort. And stick around. At the end of this video, I will share a pro tip that can help you optimize your link queries even further. You won't want to miss it. To begin solving this problem, the user needs to create a link query that checks each column in the table for the specified value. This can be done by using the any method in combination with select. Next, the user should ensure that the search value is defined. This value will be used to check against all columns in each row of the table. Now, the user can execute the link query. This will filter the rows based on whether any column contains the search value, and the results will be converted into a list. Finally, the user can utilize the filtered results as needed. This could involve displaying them in a user interface or processing them further. Fun fact, did you know that LINQ stands for Language Integrated Query? It allows you to write queries directly in C# and other .NET languages, making data manipulation much easier. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach to your link query involves building a dynamic predicate that checks all columns for a specific value. This method requires that all fields have the same type. You can create an expression that combines conditions for each property in your object. The user provides a method to build this expression dynamically, allowing you to check each property against the search value. In the provided code, the user defines a method that constructs an expression by iterating through the properties of the object. It combines equality checks for each property into a single predicate, which can then be used in your link query. That wraps up that answer. Let's move on to another one. An alternative approach provided by a user involves creating a generic class to search through all columns of a table. This method iterates over each property of the objects in the list, checking if any column contains the specified search value. The user demonstrates how to use this generic class by calling the search method on a list of table records, effectively filtering the results based on the search term. Let's take a moment to review another user's answer. An alternative approach provided by a user involves creating a generic class to search through all columns of a table. This method uses reflection to access each property of the objects in the list and checks if any of the property values contain the specified search string. To use this method, instantiate the generic list class and call the searchFun method with your data and search term. This will return a list of items that match the search criteria across all columns. Here's the pro tip I promised. Always consider performance when working with large data sets. Using reflection can be slower, so if you're querying frequently, think about optimizing your data structure or caching results. And there you have it. You've learned how to write a link query that checks for a value across all columns in a table. Remember, optimizing your queries can save you time and improve performance. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.